Hey there, folks. Reza-Kaze here, and I'm going to warn you right now that these next two commentaries, today and Monday's commentary that you'll see, are really, really fucking long. Now, usually, I give you a little sort of teaser for what the video is going to be, just give a little what's what. Unfortunately, I can't do that this morning, today, whatever. I don't know the video that's going to be playing right now. Just so I have all the time I need, I am doing my commentary and I am putting the video over it. So I won't be pausing at all to comment on the crap that I got killed by or the luckiness that I just survived in order to get a kill or a double kill, triple kill, pick up a weapon and take the knife takedown. I don't know about that. So, today's conversation is about game companies, and I had this idea for a while that I wanted to do. I had it in my notes for talk ideas, but this is also going to be the start of a new, not necessarily new conversational piece, sort of like a new series. That's what I wanted to go with. I had my Reza thoughts from Reza Talks, where one was I talk about before and after thoughts of the game, the game that comes out, multiplayer, single player, campaign, whatever, co-op, and I give you my input of if the game's good, game's bad, la di da di da. Then the other one was, I just talk about what the hell's on my mind. Somewhere down the line, I switched the two up. So I am renaming it. Unfortunately, I don't know what I'm renaming it yet, so shh, I'll figure it out eventually. So in any event, this is going to be the start of the new series, season, whatever the hell you want to call it. But anyways, I had this idea for quite a while, and it was about gaming companies and practically the addiction that we all have towards video games. You're watching this video, you're interested in video games, and some play it more than others. Some don't play it as much as probably they should or would like. In either event, this is my whole thought process on what game companies have. And when you think about what it's was to what it's gone to, we're, I looked up some prices as far as what we pay for video games, and this is just for the U.S. in prices, and they adjusted for inflation a couple years ago to when the system and games came out, and there's some pretty shocking numbers, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But the way we look at video games from what they used to be, from the old NES, Super Nintendo, Sega, N64 type of games, we played the fuck out of those games. And I know every one of us has that kid thought in them. We all have those games where we picked it up and we played it for hours and hours and hours, and that was fun. Most of those games did have an end. I saw this little picture on Facebook that started getting around where it was Pac-Man, and it said old computer games were never won. They continuously got harder and faster until you eventually died, like life. So it's sort of more of like a life lesson, but that's the truth. I mean, look at the old computer, the old arcade games, like Pac-Man and Galaga and all that shit. They didn't have an ending. They just got harder and harder and harder until you lost. From the looks of it, the Super Nintendo, Sega type of games were that barrier between the old games that you can never win to the games that we play now. And just work with me a little bit. Those games had an end, but you didn't care. You fucking played it again. I mean, how many of you beat Mario? And then, whether it be now or back in the day, how many of you beat Mario and just ended up going playing it right back again? How many of you play those old sports games where it's just, you know, the basic rules, pass, throw, pass, run, tackle. You don't have to worry about penalties. You don't have to worry about any of that special crap. You just played the game. Fuck, one of my favorite old sports games, Tecmo Super Bowl, I played the shit out of that. You can either play one season of 91, 92, 93, either one of those three, or you can play a 3-season thing. Do you know how many times I played each season separately, and then I played all 3 seasons in a row? Fucking more times than... I think we played that one game more than how many times I beat campaigns of these new age games. And we all love those games. With the way the games were, however, and this is gonna be a huge tangent now because this is gonna be talking about DLC. There was no DLC. Obviously, we had no way downloadable content. There was no way to download. There was really no internet at that time. There sort of was, but I don't know. But anyway, there was no DLC, so we had to wait until our next favorite game decided to get marked with a sequel. Fucking Donkey Kong. How many times have you played Donkey Kong? Exactly. You played that shit to death. You can beat that game over and over again, and it doesn't get bored. You just go back to play it again. And there's no extra content. You just had to go and wait until Donkey Kong 2 came out. And 3. Oh, we don't talk about 3. Shh, don't talk about that. Basically, what is coming out and saying, if you really loved the game, you just played it to hell. You played it over and over and over and over again until the game was physically unable to play or you lost it. Hell, that happens. I still lose games. And you had to wait until a sequel came out. Sequels were pretty consistent, though, when it comes to the old NES and Super Nintendo games. There was a lot of, like, sequels and side stories. You know, Donkey Kong had... in just those early things, 3 games. I think maybe 4. No, I really want to say just 3. Mario, obviously, sequeled to hell. When a game company finds a game worth making, and it's obviously got the great response, they're going to keep making those games. That hasn't changed much from today. That hasn't changed much to today. Fucking Call of Duty... Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil, Halo, they're getting up to the amount of games. Not counting side quests, you know, straight up main games. They're getting up there as far as the amount of softwares coming out. And what else can you do? You're gonna complain about it like I do, but you're gonna keep buying the games. Now, the first wave of DLC, now I took a look around, and I had some troubles finding exact answers. But there was a sort of consistent answer that Mech Assault, which, if I believe the game was the right thing I was talking about, my friend Matt, he had this game, and the controller was a big old fucking control board. It was Mech Assault, as you can imagine, was a mech game. Mechanical robots. You had 2 joystick things, and you had all these buttons on it. And he said that you had to read this fucking book of a manual before you started playing. because there was no in-game instructions. You had to read this thing. It was like you're running a fucking nuclear power plant just from your fingertips right here. And you had to because, you know, if you died in the mission, your mech was destroyed and deleted off your save. That is bullshit and awesome at the same time. Not going into that. But that was near the end of 2002. Like I said, I had some inconsistencies of where, or I couldn't really find the exact name. There was always different names rolling around. But the 3 or 4 that I found to be coming up the most was Mech Assault, Halo 2, Splinter Cell, and Ninja Gaiden for some reason. But, you know, looking at release dates, Mech Assault came out about a week before Splinter Cell. So basically one of those 2 games ended up having its first DLC. Now let's just look at the DLC for a minute. I couldn't find, now this is probably with the internet and stuff that's really old, that came out in time, that really wasn't big internet based. The gaming world wasn't like it was now. And I couldn't find, I mean, I found all the list of, say, like DLC packs for Mech Assault, but I had trouble finding like specifics, like the amount of, I found one, and one of the Mech Assault DLCs was 3 or 4 maps with 3 new game modes, and I think some sort of conversion on some of the other ones. Now that was consistent. They may not have had a new game mode, like 3 new game modes each time, but they had something new. And that was all for $5. Today it's not the same. I can't speak for many other games because I don't download that many games unless I know I'm putting like my major hours in. Darksiders 2, I put major hours into it, but I had no intention of really downloading anything extra. You know, if it was free, I got it. I haven't touched it since the Crow Armor came out, I think. The point is, the 2 games that I've been downloading for DLC, well, used to anyway, for one, Call of Duty and Battlefield 3. This is sort of, you know, the max of what is coming to. Call of Duty nowadays ends up giving you, you know, 4 to 5 new maps and no new game modes. I don't remember any new game modes in these past DLCs, with the exception of Modern Warfare 3, and they had drop point. You took a point, and the longer you were there, it dropped more care packages for your team. Battlefield 3 would get 4 new maps, and each time there were new modes in each map. Granted, Close Quarters had reworkings of some of the older ones, like Close Quarters Conquest. It was just Conquest, but for smaller people. Close Quarters Team Deathmatch, of course, just, you know, a smaller thing. That's all that was. Aftermath. Not Aftermath. Armored Kill. You know, thinking about that, I don't remember any new modes with that one. Perhaps I should have looked that up. You have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Armored Kill had a new game mode in it. I don't think it did. It just completely ruined Rush. Conquest was fun. But Aftermath had Scavenger, which, if you saw one of my other videos, I think is one of the best new modes to come out. And I kind of sort of got into this argument with one dude on a YouTube channel. There is no new game modes. I said that because the video I was watching, the guy said that Scavenger was getting boring, kind of like Gunmaster. And I said, well, Gunmaster got boring after the first game when they decided to make it into a team effort. It doesn't work with a team, and I hate to say that You know, they took it from Call of Duty, but hey, I hate to say it, but that's the case, and they ruined that there. But Scavenger is still one of my favorite ones. And he's like, you know, Gun Master, Gun Game didn't come from Call of Duty, and I bet you can't tell me what it is. And I answered honestly, I'm like, I know it didn't come from Call of Duty. And I really want to say Counter-Strike, but I can't say with 100% certainty. I was right, it came from Counter-Strike. But the point of the argument was that there's nothing new coming out with games. It's all originality is just about dead. And all game companies are doing nowadays is just taking what was been done and sort of reworking it for their liking. Little tangent there. Backing up a little bit, you have the DLC for most games today is give or take a nation. What the fuck? I don't know why I wrote that. Is about $15. Obviously, a little more, a little less, depending on your area. Some countries have different price ranges for this DLC. But I just say $15 because that's what it is on PS3, and they use Microsoft. Xbox used Microsoft points. I didn't feel like finding a conversion chart for that. Either way, you're ending up paying about $15. But now, what games are starting to do is having season passes or special editions. Call of Duty did Elite, which worked out fucking wonderfully. Notice the sarcasm. Battlefield 3 did Premium, which, if you look back at one of my videos, I think I did a thing on Premium, where it was actually definitely worth it. And now there's still games, a handful of games. I'm not like Assassin's Creed 3, Black Ops 2, probably more games. They have, or Darksiders 2. I know they have season passes where you pay a fee up front, sometimes between $25 and $50, up to $50. Black Ops 2 has, and you get all the DLC for that game for free. Now, of course, they have no idea when they're coming out, but you get it for free. Free meaning is you already paid for it. The issue with that is you're paying the money up front. Some people don't have the $50. They rather pay, the $15 each time. In the end, you end up saving about $5 to $10. Woohoo, big saving deal. But in that case, if you're gonna buy the DLC anyway, and you have the money, get the season pass or get the special premium elite edition, whatever the fuck they're calling it nowadays, or for that game. You end up saving the little bit of money, and usually you get a little bit more with it anyways. Like Battlefield 3 Premium, you get new dog tags, new camos. Obviously nothing that makes you play better, but they're giving you a little special stuff there. Premium, you get stuff earlier than regular players. Now, is it good or bad for this, like season passes and DLCs? It's good because you get more content for your games instead of having to wait for the sequel to come out. Sometimes big like campaign favored games rather than like the multiplayer, like you won't will have extra missions. Like you won't see Call of Duty or Battlefield come out with DLC that gives you bonus mission, side quest shit going on here. Assassin's Creed, you'll see bonus missions like that. You won't see it in the shooters. In like the shooters, you'll get like new guns or new maps, stuff like that. All in all, with the extra content, you get more time to play. Sometimes it's only like maybe an hour or two. Sometimes, depending on the game, you get much more hours than you will put into any regular game, for that matter. The bad things about it is, you're paying extra content for a game you already put a lot of money into. And games these days are straight up $60. And I think I'll touch and, well, I'll get there. $60 is a lot for a game. There's no denying that whatsoever. When you think about what was put into the game and how much developers and how many people is working on it, $60 isn't really that bad of a deal, especially on the type of game. Some of these games that come out for $60 isn't worth it. Duke Nukem, I haven't played it, but $60 definitely wasn't worth it, especially when a couple weeks later it instantly dropped down to like $40. And now you could probably pick it up for under $15. That's cheap. The only games I'm really gonna buy straight up at the front is games that I know that I really love or I'm gonna get a lot of time playing. Assassin's Creed, I did that. I haven't beat it though. Battlefield 3, I was more than willing to buy that. When Kingdom Hearts 3 finally comes out, I'd be more than willing to pay that right up front. The only other problem with DLC is that it's sometimes revamped old crap. The Call of Duty maps sometimes. Modern Warfare 2 did it a lot, where they had the 4 packs, and 1 or 2 of the maps in there were just redid versions of old maps. That's not fun. That's not fair. Yeah, it's good to see some of the favorite maps come back to the newer age, but it's not fair. We want to see new stuff, and you're giving us old crap, where all you have to do is, put a new texture on it to bring it up to date. And you get another $15 out of us. Fucking wonderful. So, now it's coming down to the prices. In the old days of, Nintendo and Super Nintendo, Sega, games were more dependent on what game they were, as far as cost goes. And the chart I'm looking at is, NES games range from about $30 to $50. Super Nintendo range from $50 to $60. N64 and PlayStation 2, when they came out, was $50 games, and then now today is $60 games. Inflation, they did a little inflation adjustment. NES games costed, if the NES were to come out in 2010, it would have costed $100 per game. That's a lot for a fucking NES game. We don't see it, obviously, as worth $100. But what we paid at that time, and converting it to today's age, that's what we did end up paying at that time. That's a fucking lot of money. So in the end, when you're thinking about, the games you played hours and hours and hours on, to games that of today where you're paying out all this DLC, you are paying just about the same amount. But not even considering that, just looking at what you paid. You're paying up to $60 on a game that you can play not, hours on, but days worth. Days. Not like 12 hours game time, 15 hours. 3, 4, 5 days worth of time that you play over and over again. But now you have $60 minimums for the game, not even counting special editions. Those special editions will, give you like maybe pay like an extra $20, $40 or so, and you get, figurines, you get keychains, you get belt buckles, stuff like that. Sometimes a couple bonus maps. But then some of those special editions don't even come with like the season passes that people are coming out with now. So you got to pay extra money for that. Now to wrap it around here. Gaming, being a gamer, is expensive. But is it worth it? Is there something better and more sufficient we can put this money towards? Fuck yeah, there is. We could pay off our debts with the amount we put towards buying new video games. I mean, when you think about it, think about the games you bought over the past year. Not even your console. If you bought a brand new console, just think of the games itself. Those are $60 each. Not counting DLCs, not counting all that. Just the games. I myself, just looking at my stack, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then thinking about the games I sold, I probably had about 6, 7 new games I bought this year. That is about $1,000 worth of just games. And that's a lot. What could I do with that $1,000? Fuck, I could have paid off my computer. I could have had my credit card paid off. Well, close to it. I could have been a month or two ahead on my student loans. Is that something I'd rather be doing? Fuck no, I'd rather be playing games. Is it... This is where it gets into the gray area. Because other people waste their money on, other stuff. They go drinking all the time. They smoke. All this money could be put to something better. Now, will it be? No. Because we all need something to blow off steam. People go golfing. People, smoke to let off stress. They do all that. Ours, as a community, is gaming. Now, I don't even know where else to go with that. There is something better we could put our money towards. But I'd rather put my money towards something that I know is going to be helping more people out. Yeah, I'm still paying my student loans, but fuck, who's that helping if I pay it right up front? I'm fucking paying for an education that I never fucking got. I'm paying for these games, and I'm putting money in the pockets of, the GameStop employees that I buy it from, the people that fucking wrote the script for the game, developed the game, colored the game, all that stuff. I'm sort of contributing to the circle of life. Yeah, I know that doesn't really make much sense. But that's a question that you just gotta ask yourself. Is this gaming worth it? Is it an addiction? Are you addicted to games? Could you take time off? I could take time off. Sometimes I don't play fucking games for like a week straight, and I'm just like, I want to play a game, but I'm too lazy to play a game. I don't feel like doing it. Now, ask yourself that. Is this gaming worth it? I think it is. It relieves me from my stressful day. It, helps me unwind. I'm not like these other stupid people that think video games cause violence. I'm not gonna go shoot shit up. Yeah, I was playing Call of Duty. I'm playing Battlefield. I'm not gonna go fucking find a gun and go bam, 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 pew, 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 go shoot people up. No, I'm not that fucking stupid. I'm definitely not that stupid. I may be an idiot, but I'm not fucking stupid. Maybe an idiot at times, but I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna do so. I know the difference between video games and real life. I'm not gonna fucking cross that too. Just like when people say, "Oh, you wanna play fucking Call of Duty or Battlefield? Why don't you go to the real army and see what it's like?" I answer with a joke, and I'm like, "Bitch, I don't play hardcore. I play regular." I like it too. Ask yourself that. Is it worth what you're doing? You know, take a little time, figure out how many games you bought this past year. That's probably about the average of what you would pay. What could you put better towards that? Are you going to? Hell no, you're just going to buy that next game when it comes out. I know I am. Right now I'm just rambling. I'm trying to wrap it up and give a good answer for this, but I'm just not getting it because the question of is it worth it is really just a selective thing where it depends on you and you only, and that's about it. Almost 32 minutes. That's a fucking long ass commentary. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble on. If you survived all the way to the end, I thank you even more so. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.